Why wouldn't we?
Because I reset OBS. And what's going on, everybody? Tim here from Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we're here with another Monday Night Raw review. Everything's working good. Let's get this going. Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, folks? Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Monday Night Raw review for September 3rd, 2018. It's Labor Day weekend. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Back to school for the kids. Back to work for the kids that also work and go to school like me. Let's talk about Raw tonight.
I loved tonight's Raw, to be honest. Like, there was some things that were meh, but I mean, every show can't have everything amazing. Even All In had some meh to it. But I thought tonight's Raw started off amazing and ended basically making you think, well, damn, I need to see next week's Raw now to figure out what the hell just happened.
This was a perfect soap opera ending to a show. It makes you think, I gotta tune into the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, don't get me started on Dragon Ball Z. I love that shit.
One of the worst shows ever made behind Naruto.
Hey, now, well, no, I don't like Naruto.
Naruto!
No, I don't like Naruto. But no, because, like, just really quickly, the end of Raw, it's like, why did all the heels just come out to attack the Shield? And they go off the air, no explanation. Hopefully they don't post anything on social media that gives it away. Because if they would, they'd be dumb. Because next week's Raw could, at least for the beginning of Raw, have a good opening hour rating.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everyone's going to know what's going on with the Shield. Why are all the heels out there? And we'll get to that. So, Raw kicked off amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Braun was out there with, well, first off, Renee Young was on commentary because Michael Cole had other obligations with the Golf Channel. So,
God.
With that, we had Renee Young on commentary, which she was actually better this time than she was the last time.
Yeah, she was really good tonight. I love Renee Young.
So, Braun Strowman is in the ring when the show starts, and he's just got a big old grin on his face. Like, haha, I showed you, Roman.
Yeah, I would too.
They played some recaps from the last couple of weeks with him and Roman and the Shield. They showed him getting powerbombed through the announce table. Then they showed him turning on Roman last week. Kristen McNutt with a $2 super chat donation. I want Kurt Angle back already. We all
and
would.
I have a theory.
Yes, Nick has a theory that ties in with that. So,
oh, look at that, Baby Huey's in here.
Awesome.
Wow.
What's up?
What's going on, Baby Huey? How you doing, man? Huey, feel free to plug your show in the chat, dude.
Oh yeah. So, Strowman's out there, and they show the recaps, and then him and Ziggler and McIntyre are all together, and they're talking about how they're going to take down the Shield, and that they're better than the Nation of Domination, they're better than DX, and especially better than the Shield. Shield, their music hits, and they see them in the crowd as they come down, but Corbin then sends all the mid-card geeks from Raw down to the ring to try and stop them.
Mid-card geeks. Man, that's mean.
Is it not true?
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's kind of mean.
I mean, he sends all the mid-card geeks down to try and stop them, and it doesn't happen. He sends them down like 3 groups at a time, and the Shield beats them all off. Well, that was the wrong kind of words to use. They fight them all off. My bad. So they fight off the first group that Corbin sends out, and then another group of guys come out. They fight them off. A third group of guys come out before finally they get in the ring. They attack Drew McIntyre. They attack Dolph Ziggler. They attack Braun Strowman. And finally, all those guys that they fought off get together and they pull them all apart. They do the big pull apart thing we've seen a million times in WWE, but it's always good. WWE
does so fun.
Yes, WWE does know how to do the big heel versus face pull apart, where they get the roster down there to try to hold them apart. And I think this is one of the better ones I've seen in the last maybe 8 to 10 years.
I'll tell you what the best one was.
What?
Brock and Cena.
Better than Brock and Taker?
Yes. Because weren't both of them like completely busted open?
I don't remember.
I think both of them were.
I just remember Brock and Taker because that one started in the ring and then went to commercial and they were still fighting in the back after the commercial.
Yeah, that was also really awesome.
So the one thing that got me here, though, was they get him to the back and everything, and then they put him in a police van. It's like, well, if they're going to be arrested, why aren't the other 3 arrested? I kind of get it because...
What were they? Yeah, what were they arrested for?
They were arrested for ensuing a riot, property damage, and one other thing. Oh, and then finally they were resisting arrest when the police tried to arrest them initially.
That'll do it to you.
But
Don't
see,
resist
the thing
arrest.
was, it's like, I get it. Okay, they came down and provoked Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre. Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre were just in the ring kind of saying, hey, this is what we're going to do to you guys come Hell in a Cell. So I guess you could say, yeah, the Shield ensued a riot. But, I mean, there wouldn't have been a riot if Corbin didn't say, hey, everybody go down to try and stop it. I guess.
Do you mean Baron Corbin or do you mean teacher of Danny Phantom? Think about that, fellas. Go look at my Twitter. Think about that, fellas.
So the Shield gets arrested. They put him in a police van. They take him away. And the next thing we see, nothing against these women, but the next thing we see,
Oh boy, it was
the Riot
Botch
Squad.
Fest 5000.
So the next thing we see are the Riot Squad. And I'm like, okay, so we're getting Riot Squad versus Bellas, whatever. I'm not taken down from this. But then you hear JoJo and the opponents of the Riot Squad, stars of Total Divas, appear season 8 premiering on the E Network, whatever date it is. And I'm like, really? We just get that great opening segment and then you got to talk Total Divas? And then the Bellas come out.
All right, so what I want to talk about this match was, look, the Bella Twins won. That's all we'll say about the match. But what I do want to talk about are these
botched dives.
Just these awkwardly obsessed fans that think it wasn't the Bella's fault that Brie botched. It was Sarah Logan's fault for not being in place.
Exactly.
Even if she wasn't in place, if someone as experienced as Brie Bella notices, oh, she's not in place, let's abandon the dive. Maybe hit the ropes, hit the ropes, hit the other ropes, and then do your dive. There you go. Like, we see it all the time. This was just, I understand that they haven't wrestled on TV in what, 4 years? It's been a while.
Bree's last match was Mania 32, I want to say. And I mean, Nikki, she wrestled in 2017.
That's very true. But still, it's rough. It's really, really, really rough.
See, here's my thing. It's like Sarah Logan, so what was supposed to happen was Brie was supposed to dive through the ropes, and Sarah Logan was supposed to cut her off with like a fist or an elbow or a forearm. And Sarah Logan was off just slightly. Like, she wasn't even off that much. And my whole thing was, if this would have been like a Seth Rollins or something, he would have just committed to the dive and crashed and burned.
Oh, yeah, he would have just hit it. It would have made a really cool, awkward, because
then they could have just played it off. They could have played it off as, oh, Sarah Logan sidestepped her.
Exactly, yeah.
So there was that.
I mean, I guess it's true. Instincts don't always come into play, and then she botched another dive.
Oh, I thought she landed on her freaking head, like Big E.
So which one of them was it Brie or Nikki that had the neck surgery?
Nikki.
Now, who was the one that took that insanely not safe-looking Liv Morgan bump?
Oh, I don't remember.
Where she did the Penelope spot where she bridged,
and then she been Nikki.
She pulled her by the hair, and I was like, I don't know if that's the one that got the neck surgery, but that's that may scary.
Have been, yeah, that may have been Nikki.
That's really scary to take that kind of. It's gutsy, and hey, cheers to her. Pour one out for the homies. But God, that's really scary for someone that just had neck surgery.
Well, the neck surgery's been like what, a year and a half.
Still.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. So
yeah, what's going on, Bailey Donovan?
The Bellas did beat the Riot Squad. It was Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan with Ruby on the outside, which did a little bit surprise me. I thought Ruby would be in the match because she's the more experienced of the three.
Again, like a simple kind of like boneheaded mistake that I felt like just kind of like flew over the heads of them.
And we do know
it was Brie that took that bump apparently. Okay, that's fine. Cool.
And
thanks, guys.
We do know at Super Showdown it will be the Bellas teaming with Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey to take on all three members of the Riot Squad.
Now that has to end with someone turning heel.
Who?
Has to end with the Bella Twins.
No. So what did you think of this next match? Bobby Roode and Chad Gable teaming up to take on the Ascension.
So, okay, I'll tell you the only reason Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are teaming up. Because I think Bobby Roode and Chad Gable can have an amazing match that can kick off Roode's heel run.
But here's my thing with that. Like, you're not the only one to tell me that. But for someone to turn on their tag team partner, don't they need to be established tag team partners, not tag team partners for a week or two?
Okay. What about this? Well,
Okay.
okay, my argument wouldn't really make sense. It would have made sense if they started as heels, because then you can get an MVP Matt Hardy.
But that was different. Those two were fighting over the U.S. title.
Yeah.
They were already adversaries, and the GM was just like, you know what? I'm going to make you guys get along.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Why not? I guess it's one of those things. Like, why not make them a tag team? Who's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
Who's it gonna hurt? Looking at the text line real quick. God, people talking about the Ascension, which is crazy. The bell is botched a little from the 517. You're not wrong there, lad. You're not wrong there. Continuing on here a little bit.
So, Chad Gable and Bobby Lashley teamed up to take on the Ascension. It was a okay quick match. At one point,
I remember when the Ascension was like one of the greatest NXT tag teams.
They were the longest.
Remember when the Lucha Dragons were one of the greatest NXT tag teams?
Yeah, no, the Ascension at one point were the longest reigning tag team champions ever in NXT history. They were the most dominant tag team up to that point when they got drafted to the main roster. And then they came to the main roster and literally, it's like AOP after week 2. I mean, AOP is a different situation. They had visa issues and they had to be taken off TV for a little while. But it was like basically week 2, who's the Ascension? And if you've and that was before a good majority of the main roster fans were watching NXT, because that was like right at the ascension of, like, no pun intended, but right at the ascension of takeovers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, there hadn't been many takeovers before the Ascension came to the main roster.
Exactly.
So it's like a lot of these main roster people hadn't seen NXT. It's like, you know, it's like when Bo came up. I bet you 90% of the people watching did not know he was a former NXT champion.
Yeah, that makes me really bummed.
So,
that dude was a great champion.
This match was like I said, short, all right. Victor at one point went for a long modified chin lock. Gable then got the blind tag and ran wild with crossbodies and hit a cannonball off the apron before landing a missile dropkick. He then hit a Chaos Theory for the win, which is basically, I think it was Victor was kind of like standing with his body up into the corner, facing the corner, and Chad Gable just runs at him, just splashes him in the corner, wraps his arms around him, like rolls him up. You think he's going to go for like the roll-up pin, but instead he rolls through that and just muscles him as hard as he can over for a delayed German suplex into the bridge for the victory. Chad Gable is freaking amazing.
Yeah, no, he is great when it comes to his deadlift Germans.
Yes, that's
his
the word
workout.
for.
His workout video is physically staring me. $2, Chris McNutt. Drake with AOP. Your thoughts? We'll get to that in a minute because I have some great suggestions.
Oh, Lord.
And Argadon says, hey, Tim and Nick, what's going on? A lot of people are talking about how much they hate Rude.
Well, maybe that's a good
Not
thing.
Rude, how much they hate Elias. But we're going to continue on here.
Elias is up next. So they show Elias backstage, and he's showing some guy on his phone his album on iTunes. Go to commercial, come back, and Elias comes out to the ring. He starts talking about Christopher Columbus because they're in Columbus, Ohio. He said that he'd turn that ship around if he was Chris Columbus. He also can't stand the Buckeyes, and that it's far inferior to Michigan's Wolverines.
Absolutely.
He was then interrupted by Alexa Bliss, who was from Columbus, Ohio, got a huge pop in her hometown.
I thought this was a great segment to really get Alexa over with the crowd. That was great.
It didn't. And like it got her as a perfect heel.
Yeah.
Like, you never see this with a hometown person. But so Alexa comes out with Mickey and Alicia Fox, who I think Mickey's still hurt.
Yeah, she's probably still hurt.
Because Mickey hasn't been physical. Like, we've seen Mickey back on TV the last couple of weeks, but she hasn't been physical. And then next week, it's going to be Alicia and Alexa teaming together with Mickey in their corner. So I think they're keeping...
Well, yeah.
I think they're keeping Mickey off, like, out of anything physical until Evolution, when... I'm just going to say it now. Officially announced, Mickie James will be taking on WWE Hall of Famer Lita at the Evolution pay-per-view.
Yep.
They couldn't have announced that on TV. They had to just... That was the weird thing to me, is they could have threw that in somewhere really quickly instead of only sending out the text message.
Maybe you figure you send out the text message.
But think about it. They've done the same thing with... Okay, go.
You send out the text message, people are like, huh? What? Lita? What? Let me watch Raw real quick, see if they're talking about it. Bam.
I guess, but they've done the same thing with Super Showdown, which I'm surprised we haven't gotten a Super Showdown notification yet. Because, like, the last 2 weeks after Raw and SmackDown, they announced a Super Showdown match after Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, which is weird. Anyways, so Alexa Bliss comes out and she interrupts Elias, and she was like, "I'm here in my hometown, and there's a chant we always do in Ohio. It's OH," and then the crowd goes IO, and she goes OH IO OH IO, and then she just shits on Columbus, Ohio, saying that she did that chant here in this same building when she was in high school, and she hates it. She said that Columbus is nothing but zombies that always chant OH IO. Alexa then hits on Elias for a second before Ronda Rousey's music hits, and then Natalia's music hits. Now, I have a question. How long have they been doing this thing where two people come out together, but they each get their music? Because before, it would just be whoever's more of the star gets their music, and then they all come out together. I guess it started with McIntyre and Ziggler.
Seth and Dean. Nah, I guess it started with McIntyre and Seth and Dean. That's the only thing I can
they've
think
always
of
done it with Natty and Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
Because like you would think
weird.
Ronda's music hits, Natty and Ronda come out together. Just like with Alexa. Alexa's music hits, her, Alicia, Mickey all came out together.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on. Ronda Rousey comes down to the ring with Natty, and we learned that it's going to be Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. This wasn't a bad match. Like, there was nothing wrong with this match. I liked it. Alexa Bliss stalled at first before Natty flipped her over. Corey Graves was playing up on commentary that Alexa Bliss has been training in judo and some other forms of mixed martial arts.
I like that. I like working that into the story. I really do like it, even if it's not true.
Yeah, he said that she needed to find a new way to combat against Ronda Rousey, and why not try to get her at her own game.
Mm-hmm.
Natty hit one basement drop kick for a 2 count. Alexa then slugged her before she was before the ref got distracted by Fox and Mickey. She then put
by the way,
what's that?
The bar. What
about the bar?
They started it.
Oh, that's true. You have Cesaro's music and then Sheamus's hits. See, I forget that Cesaro's music hits.
Yep. Because it always sounds the same. It's his first, and then it's Sheamus.
Yeah, and then Sheamus is with the light and everything.
Yeah. Continuing on.
The referee was distracted by Alicia Fox and Mickey James, while Alexa was choking Natty with the ropes. Alexa DDT'd her and gave her an arm bar, and as she was in the arm bar, you had Ronda on the outside just yelling, "Don't tap, you've got this, Natty," and Natty's just screaming, "Ah, ah, ah," like screaming her lungs out, and finally she taps out, and Ronda gets pissed. So Ronda takes her jacket off. She gives the Ronda Rousey stare. She gets in the ring. Ronda goes for a I don't even know what you would call this. Some sort of a lift.
Throw.
Huh?
It's the judo throw.
Well, no, she's like some lift. Some like weird looking lift on Alexa. But Foxy ran in. Gets thrown around for a minute before Alexa chops Ronda. Throws her into the steps on the outside. Ronda slugs her and sends Alexa packing. Ronda helps Natty out of the ring. And she was just kind of... I don't know if I got this right or not, but it looked like she told Natty, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, it was rather weird.
So then they recapped the opening segment of Monday Night Raw. Renee Young said that the Shield's arrest was justified, even with it involving her husband.
Did she say that?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if they would have let her.
No, they're trying to... No connection to the wrestlers with Renee or whatnot.
That's fine.
We then kept getting text message updates from Mike Rome. Well, Twitter updates. We finally got a text message one at the end of the show to Corey Graves, but we got an update saying the Shield were fingerprinted. Corbin then tells a stagehand, "I've got too much stuff to deal with tonight. You need to go clean my Rolex." Like, really? What?
I don't know what teacher can afford a Rolex.
Hey, it could be a Folex.
Get a movement watch at MVMT.
You see the picture recently? It was Corbin and Flair, and they were both flashing their Rolexes.
Dude, fuck! If I had a Rolex, I'd flash that. I mean, frick. If I had a Rolex, I would flash that B word everywhere. I'm trying not to cuss for you kids. Y'all said you didn't like it in the comments section, so I'm stopping. Continue on with Monday Night Raw.
All right, so where was I? Braun tells Baron to find some competition for him. Drew and Dolph want tag titles and threaten that they would take out the Revival, which did happen later. Braun tells Baron that he wants competition. Revival are interviewed by Charlie Caruso and the B Team next, and what happens? They're attacked by Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, beat them down, and then the B Team come out, and they're like, well, are the Revival going to come out? Because the Revival are supposed to be the challengers for the tag team titles, and JoJo goes, and the challengers! And then out comes Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. And so the commentary, they're confused, which rightfully so. They should be confused. Because it's like, wait, it's supposed to be a Revival, but now these guys are coming out. Are they getting this? What's going on? Like they played that up, the confusion well. Not like, okay, we know how the script's supposed to go. Let's just play. No, they played up the confusion very well. I can't say that enough.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Kyle Watson in chat says, but I tune in for the cursing.
So
it's not the same.
So Curtis Axel gets a backslide for a 2 count. Bo low bridges Drew. The heels regroup on the floor after they get sent to the outside. Go to commercial, come back, and Drew dominates Axel for a while. Bo gets in with a desperate tornado DDT. Axel comes in with Dolph, who eats 2 of the perfect plexes. Dolph then super kicks him before the victory as they do.
Sorry, my phone went off. Happens.
Be professional. Anyways.
Professional?
I know. Anyways.
What's that mean?
They hit their Claymore zigzag combination for the victory.
That's
Michael
so
Cole then talks about how the B team were on a roll, but they were, I guess you could say, thrown off tonight because they weren't ready for this tag team to challenge them. They then celebrated with the tag titles. They had the blue light that they used for their entrance. They posed in the corner. I loved it. And then,
yeah, it was great.
One of Nick's favorite things of the night. Some cosplay.
Okay. You got Triple H wearing the Shield gear. You got Kurt Angle wearing the Shield gear. But what tops it off is little tiny boy. Little boy. Drew Maverick. Drake Maverick walking with the Authors of Pain. It was so silly. Looks like Maverick is a 3rd grader who got bullied, so he hired some reinforcement from the 5th graders. Oh, I love it so much. Oh god.
So they're walking to
I want gym selfies. I want just normals. I want him sleeping in it. I want pictures of him in the shower wearing it. I want him to wear that to weddings and to funerals and to church.
I want
it on 205 Live.
You basically want to be like Roman. I never take off my flak jacket.
I want him to join. I want him. I want him forever. To just do this forever.
So they come out to the ring and everyone's confused. And Drake Maverick just goes, yes, I am the general manager of 205 Live, but I'm also now the manager of AOP. And I'm going to make them future WWE Raw Tag Team Champions.
Love it. Now look, I would have also settled, and this is a text that we got from the Drake looks like a bobblehead. This is a text we got from the I don't have it anymore. I forgot what number it was, but I agree with him. You know who their manager should have been?
Oh, Eric Bischoff?
I'm back and better than ever. Eric Bischoff, man.
Actually,
that would have been great.
It is the same person that said bobblehead.
Oh, okay, it's the same person?
646, yeah.
646. Thank you for your
I was going to say it disappeared for me too because I was just reading.
You know, Borat Trolls, I don't know. I want to say yes, maybe. If you got to fill in a 3-hour show, hell yeah.
Gulak was there at the end. So, moving forward, the AOP did defeat some jobbers, which I liked it. You got to build them back up. They did have some issues.
Got the greatest finisher back.
They did have some issues. I mean, when they first came to the main roster, they had, I guess it was some visa issues where they had to get them renewed and recertified and everything, so they had to be taken off TV for almost a month, it felt like. I don't know if it was that long, but it did feel like that. And so now, I don't know, Drake Maverick's just weird because he's like half their size, weight and height-wise.
That's what makes it great, though.
I guess. I mean, I liked them with Paul Ellering.
Ellering. I can't say his name. Ellering.
Ellering.
Continuing on here.
Anyways, so they took on these jobbers, beat them with was it Super Collider?
Yep, love that move.
And then, well, first we had Ronda and Natty chatting backstage. The Bellas come in. Oh my god, this is one of the down parts of Raw. Like Raw was mainly good. This is no offense, but
a little boring.
Don't give Nikki Bella scripted lines.
God, don't give her lines.
So they come to the back, and Natty's with Ronda and everything, and they come back, and again, like I really feel like what's first, Evolution or Greatest or Super Showdown?
Evolution. It's this month.
No, I think Evolution's the end of October. Super Showdown's the beginning of October, right?
Yeah.
Nikki's got to be turning on Ronda in that match. Like you said, someone's got to turn.
That's what I just said.
No, but now thinking of this, how every week for this week and last week, how Nikki goes to Ronda, oh my God, you're like the greatest women's champion ever.
Yeah.
She's like, but just a couple things you need to learn. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about carrying yourself as a champion. And
No, it's about wins and losses. That's
and then
what
she's
it's
like,
about.
she's like, and
if anyone in pro wrestling tells you that wins and losses don't matter,
don't ask Road Dogg.
Look at Elias. People are saying Elias is getting boring. You know why? Because he doesn't win enough.
Because he doesn't wrestle enough.
You can only believe a guy so long if he continues to lose and lose and lose and lose.
So
So
she was like, if you ever need any advice, just ask us. Maybe if you need advice on business, owning your own business, running your own business, we're always here to help you. Like she's kissing up to Ronda so much that I feel like she's going to turn on her in that 6-woman tag. And that's where we get the challenge for, the challenge for Evolution. So, then, probably the greatest segment ever that's going to lead to not a match in the history of WWE.
Don't
in my
say
opinion.
That, you never know.
Okay, that might not lead to a match. That I don't think is going to lead to a match. So Shawn Michaels comes out to talk about Undertaker versus Triple H. And Shawn by himself was good. He's out there talking about, I fought both of these men. 20 years we've gone down these roads. He's taken the best of both. He's taken the best of both Triple H, the best of The Undertaker. And in the end, Triple H is still the game. So the game is going to best the dead man. And he's talking for another minute or so before The Undertaker's music hits. Undertaker comes down to the ring and grabs a mic. And Undertaker cuts a full promo. Usually Undertaker only says a couple things. But no, he cuts a full promo and he's just like, comes down and he's like, so you say 20 years. Well, for 20 years, I've also taken the best from you and Triple H. He said that your egos can't accept what's happened. He said the last time we were in the ring together, I took your career and you can't get over that. Crowd starts chanting one more match. Shawn goes, this right here, them chanting that is hard on me. That's why I don't come back, because I respect what happened. When my career was over, I respected that. He said that there's many people that their quote-unquote careers end, and within a year or two, they just come back because they need to. He's like, but I respected you, and I respected that match enough. And Undertaker's basically like, respect? That's what we're calling it? Respect? No, you're afraid. He's like, and if you weren't afraid, I know I'd be the first person you'd be coming after. He's like, so in Australia, I'm going to come after your friend, and I'm going to take his career as well. And Undertaker walks off, gets out of the ring and leaves. And Shawn's got this look on his face like, fuck, I wanted to super kick the shit out of you right now.
Yeah, no, I really hope that match happens. I just want to let it be known. Alexa Bliss did just tweet, JK Columbus, you know I love you.
So, you think Undertaker Shawn WrestleMania? Tease it a couple times. and then we get the match at Mania?
Why not,
I
man?
mean, that would be October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 7 months away, though.
Why not, dude?
I mean, you teased the second. I mean, you built up the second. What was it? Cena Rock match for a year.
Here's the thing: who's it gonna hurt to see this match happen? Who's gonna be who? Okay, who would be disappointed if this match took place?
Nobody.
I think it'd be fine. I think it would.
No, it would be fine. So go to commercial, come back, and we learned that next week Triple H will be on Raw, and also Mick Foley will also be on Raw. Talk about the Triple H Undertaker match. So I guess we're gonna get a segment between Triple H and Mick Foley.
Yeah, I frickin' love
Hey,
Mick Foley.
we could throw one or two in. I just did.
No, I'm not throwing him in because the comment section gets mad. I love Mick Foley to death. I'm looking at my face right now, and I need a haircut. It just
So do I.
dawned on me because I have like Mick Foley style, like psycho hair.
Oh,
now.
yikes.
Mick Foley's fantastic. I love him so much.
So then we got a match. It was, well, first, before this match, we got another tweet update from Mike Rome. He said that the Shield have been charged with inciting a riot, and they've already met with the judge. So it was like, what, hour and a half in? And it probably took, 10, 20 minutes to get to the, so maybe an hour after they were booked.
Probably the quickest booking to unbooking I have ever seen in my life.
So then we get Sasha Banks and Bayley, the Boston Hug Connection, taking on Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. Now that's just a random thrown together team right there.
I like it. It's fresh.
Especially since Ember had been teaming with Sasha and Bayley over the last month in 6-mans. So this is a okay match. It was basically two babyface teams against each other. Ember tagged in and hit a springboard crossbody on both faces before tagging back out to Dana Brooke. Dana goes in for a kick, but Sasha catches her foot and boots her in the face. Dana and goes for an enziguri. Sasha gets the victory roll into the corner for the victory. Dana Brooke was confused and I guess you could say distracted by Titus and Apollo at ringside, and that's why she got rolled up. After the match, she got out of the ring and she was yelling at Apollo and Titus and finally just said, I've had it. I've had enough. I'm done with you two, and walked away. So there's one of two things. Either Dana Brooke, so long, nice to see ya, or she's getting some sort of a push. Because they've been, using her more prominently over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Yes, she's lost every one of those matches, but I think they're going to do this thing where Dana Brooke is now on her own. She's going to be refocused. She's going to go back to her, bodybuilding roots where she's training. She's really just determined, and maybe we can see a little Dana Brooke push.
Well, why not? I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, it's something different. Exactly, I just fear that now that she's not with Titus Worldwide, they may just be like, okay, we'll use you every so often.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had, where was it? Bobby Lashley was seen backstage out front of acting general manager Baron Corbin's office with a piece of paper. He was then asked, you just came out of Corbin's office, acting general manager Baron Corbin's office. Can you elaborate? He was like, yeah, I've got this paper here. It's a product, or it's a performance review. And apparently, me, Bobby Lashley, I've got an attitude problem that I apparently need to fix. He said that I've been assigned some meditation tonight. So, go to commercial. We get this, I guess you could say, way to plug the new Purge show on the USA Network, where they show a recap of John Cena versus Batista in a last man standing match from Extreme Rules 2010, where John Cena did win because he got Batista's legs wrapped around the ropes and then duct taped him. Very clever finish.
Yes, I loved that finish to death.
Chris McNutt, $2 Super Chat Nation. Who else happy to see KO back already? Not me.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you, but not me. So, Bobby Lashley. I sent out a tweet. I'm going to read this tweet verbatim because I think this is the one time saying this would actually make sense. So, I tweeted, if I can find it, I said, one thing that Impact Wrestling did better than WWE was they always made me feel like Bobby Lashley was a legit top guy that should be a top guy. But in WWE, other than those series of matches with Roman, he's been comedy. He's been a comedy guy. So he's in the ring, comes in there with Jinder and Sunil Singh. I think it's Sunil.
Yeah.
Have you seen the other Singh brother since his surgery?
He was looking hot.
He pulled a Jinder and got jacked.
Yeah, he's looking really
I like how
good,
somebody commented on the picture of him, and it's Bugs Bunny from Space Jam with Bugs or Mike's secret sauce or secret drink or whatever, and it says Jinder on it.
Yeah.
I love Space Jam. Anyways, so they're in the ring, and they got a carpet in the ring. Not Aladdin's magic carpet. Anyways. And so they're sitting down, and Jinder goes, repeat after me. And so Bobby goes, repeat after me. And Jinder kind of looks at him like, no, not that. And so, you know, what was it? He like, every time Jinder would say something, then Bobby would repeat and then go, what do you call him? My friend or my pal or something like that, and then smack him. Something like that.
Probably something stupid, buddy, that some white dude would say at a barbecue.
And then he like does it to the Singh brother one time, and he like jumps up and goes, "Hey, just sit back down with us." And so they're doing this. He's trying to like, I don't know what this is supposed to accomplish, but Kevin Owens then appears out of nowhere and attacks Bobby Lashley from behind, lays him out at ringside. And hey, the man that quit last week came back after apparently acting general manager Baron Corbin had to do all this paperwork last week because Kevin Owens quit.
He basically pulled the George Costanza. He quit and showed up the next week like nothing ever happened.
Like 646 says the Shield was in with Judge Judy.
Yeah.
That's how you get in and out quickly. The show's got to be over in 30 minutes. You got to get 2 cases on one episode.
Exactly.
Actually, if you factor in commercials, it's like 22 minutes an episode. So you got 11 minutes to see the judge. So, yeah, I don't know where this is leading. I guess it's going to lead to a match at Hell in a Cell. Bobby Lashley. Well, no. It plays up to their tag team match at Super Showdown. Because it's Elias and Owens versus Cena and Lashley. Which I thought it was supposed to be Owens and Cena dynamic. Lashley and Owens. Cena's just the extra guy.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be in the main event tonight, Finn Balor versus acting general manager Baron Corbin. And Baron comes to Finn. I missed this part actually. Baron comes to Finn earlier in the night and goes, "Hey, I'm sorry. I got so much on my slate tonight as general manager. You know, this stuff with the Shield. I've been on the phone with the precinct and the authorities. All this paperwork I've got to fill out. I just don't have the time to face you tonight. I really want to, but I can't. But don't worry. Don't be upset. You've still got an opponent. You can still go out and compete. You're going to take on Braun Strowman." So we get Braun Strowman against Finn Balor. Would you call this a squash?
Not bad.
Would you call this a squash match?
I'd call this story advancement.
So basically, Braun headbutts and boots Balor. Finn gets a brief edge off of a sleeper.
Edge was there?
Ha ha ha. He stomps Braun and sends him to the floor for a commercial. Comes back. Braun cracks his neck before clubbing him in the chest. Braun goes for the steamroll on the floor, but Baron counters into a sling blade. Balor counters into a sling blade. Yeah. Braun goes for a corner charge and eats a boot before landing it a second time. Braun eats a shotgun dropkick and is locked in a sleeper hold. Basically, he then misses a corner charge, shoulder to the post, sending Braun to the outside. Balor hits a flip dive onto everybody. Finn then locks a triangle choke in the ring on Braun. Braun then herks him up with one arm and power bombs him down. So the triangle choke couldn't happen. Corey was like, Corey goes, as long as he can just lock it in. As long as he can just lock it in. But I guess Finn's legs are just a little too short, so he can never get him fully around the back of Braun Strowman.
Exactly.
Because he was like, as long as he can lock those legs. And then Corey kind of shifted and goes, he's just got to get the arm under the chin of Braun Strowman to really sink it in. Like he noticed the same thing I did with his legs aren't going to lock.
Yeah.
So
You know why? Because Braun's too thick.
exactly. So he then wins with a power slam. Dolph and Drew send Balor into Braun for another power slam, and then we hear woo woo woo. And my first thought was, Big Papa Pump got your hook up. Holler if you hear me. But we wait around
If
for
you
a
hate
while.
me.
We wait around for a while, like they're just looking around. What's that noise? Is that what's going on? And then finally the camera pans over and we see an ambulance backing in from the side of the side of the stage. And the crowd knows what it's gonna be, but they're like still quiet for a second. Finally, you see Roman Reigns get out of the driver's seat. Half the crowd kind of pops because half the crowd can't see him yet because they don't show anything on the screen anymore on the Titantron. So finally, when he walks around the back of the I want to keep calling it an ambulance, but it's a freaking police van. He gets around the back of the van. Then the crowd all pops. Some boos because it's Roman. He opens the back, and boom, out comes the rest of the Shield. Everybody just goes nuts. So they go back over to ringside, and you see Braun, and he looks at Dolph, and he's like, "Get in the ring." So Dolph and McIntyre get in the ring. Braun stands there for a second before he gets in the ring. You got the Shield posted up on the top of the ramp. You've got whatever these guys are going to be called. They got to give them a name, I would assume. I think Braun called them at one point his squad.
Thank you, Chris Big. Now for the $5, Angle Raw faces wrestlers versus Corbin. Raw heel wrestlers at SummerSlam or Survivor Series rather.
I thought about that a while ago when they first did the whole dynamic thing of Corbin and Angle. But anyways, we'll see. So it was funny. The Shield's standing at the top of the ramp, and you could see Dean. Dean's ready to pounce. Like Dean's like, I've only been back for a couple weeks. Let's get some action in. And so, like they're getting ready to walk, and Dean looks like he's gonna run, and then he notices that Seth and Roman are just walking, so he just kind of just stops for a second and then walks. So they don't even get halfway down the ramp when basically 12 to 13 Monday Night Raw heels run down and attack them. I thought maybe it was... So when I first saw them running out, my thought was, all right, Baron Corbin sent him out to stop this, which would have made sense based off of what happened at the beginning of Raw. And when they attack the Shield, I go, wait, what? They're attacking the Shield. What is going on here? So you got all these heels attacking Roman, attacking Balor, attacking Rollins. They're beating the crap out of them. What was it? Rollins takes a header to the glass window.
It was his arm.
It was his arm?
Yeah, it was Rollins' arm.
Yeah. And so they all get beat down. Braun's throwing them around or whatnot. And Braun's basically the ringleader, telling everybody what to do. You've got Drew Gulak down there. You've got frickin' The Ascension, Mike Kanellis, Kevin Owens, Jinder Mahal. I mean, you've got every heel on Monday Night Raw down there. Shield laid out at ringside. Then the three main heels, Ziggler, McIntyre, and Baron get back in the ring to pose. And that's how Raw goes off the air, where it's like, I have to watch Raw next week because I got to know not what just happened in specifics, but, well, in general, but specifically, why did all these guys come out here to help Braun, Dolph, and Drew? And
Exactly.
And also, just in this one episode of Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, they were a great heel team. Now they're the tag team champions, but then you add a heel Braun to them. I freaking love the crap out of that. Like, it's amazing, those three together. Like, I thought it was going to be awkward because you didn't know what Braun was supposed to be, babyface or heel. No, he's straight up 100% heel. I'm going to kill everybody, Braun Strowman. And I love it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I like it.
646 says, why was Drew Gulak there? Because the 205 Live guys are always at Raw anyways, and they just wanted as many heels as possible. Surprised Tony Nese wasn't out there either. Hideo Itami.
Yeah. So, Tim,
Nick?
That's going to do it for this edition of the Monday Night Raw recap
Yes, sir.
for September 3rd, 2018. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Right here on YouTube. Be sure to check out our friends at Fightful at Fightful Online or Fightful.com. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And yes, I will be doing some Twitch stuff soon once I get the new Spider-Man next week.
Oh.
I keep saying Twitch and Twitter. I'm never on Twitch. I've got a game that I'm going to start twitching. If that's how you say it. Twitch streaming?
Streaming. Yeah, you're just streaming.
I don't know. I've only streamed on Twitch a handful of times.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Good luck at school. Good luck at work. Wherever's going. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the SmackDown Live recap, and then Wednesday for the live show.
And we'll,
love you guys.
We'll try to do it like we did tonight within less than an hour after the show goes off the air.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind, or stay tuned to the Discord because we'll always post links.
And you should get the notification, hey, we'll be live within the next 30 minutes. I like that YouTube does that.
In theory, we should get the notification.
Well, they've been recently. Anyways, we'll see you guys live tomorrow after SmackDown. Hopefully, SmackDown's as good as tonight's Raw, because I love 90% of tonight's Raw.
Later, folks.
Have a good one.